In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the volume profile, an indicator that displays where trading activity has taken place over a certain time period. This indicator can be used to find potential levels of support and resistance, or to find an unbalanced market that may indicate a bullish or bearish trend. Today, we'll be discussing how the study is actually calculated, how you guys can use it to find those levels of support or resistance, and how it can be used to assist in the confirmation of a bullish or bearish trend. Now, to begin with, let's go ahead and first start by adding the volume profile to our chart within the Thinkorswim platform. In order for us to do that, like all other indicators inside of Thinkorswim, we'll simply come up here to the Studies icon in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and select that. From there, we can then see the Studies menu where we can actually see all of the studies available to us over here on the left-hand side, and scrolling through here, we can see there are quite a few. In order for us to quickly find the volume profile, we'll simply come up here to the search box and just start typing in volume profile up there. We can now see it's the only one in the list, so we'll go ahead and select that and add it over here to the right-hand side. Once we've actually added the indicator, we can see it appear over here on the right, and it appears in the price section automatically. That simply means that the volume profile is actually going to overlay the chart itself. It's going to be in the price section of our chart. Now from there, if you guys need to change any of the input parameters, so how the actual study is calculated, or change some of the appearance settings, the way that it looks, you can always come over here to the settings menu on the right-hand side. From there, just like all other indicators, you'll see the input parameters right up here at the top, and then the appearance settings down here at the very bottom, if you want to change the colors of certain things. Now in my case, I'm actually happy with all of the default parameters, the default color settings, so I'm just going to come down here and select OK, and hit OK one more time. So now looking over here on the right-hand side, we can see that we have added our volume profile to our chart right here. So now that we actually have it on our chart, let's next go over how the study is calculated and explain what it is we're actually looking at right here. As for the calculation itself for the volume profile, it's actually incredibly straightforward. This study is simply going to find the total volume traded during this time period. That's going to include both the total buys and the total sells. It then distributes that volume in the form of a histogram, so we can actually see where that stock is traded during this period we're looking at. So like I said, the calculation itself is incredibly simple. It's just looking at total volume during this period. But let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper into explaining what it is we're actually looking at here. The very first thing that you guys probably notice is a red horizontal bar going right down the center of that volume profile. That red bar is actually known as the point of control and is the price level where the highest level of trading has taken place during this period. So in the case of Activision, which is the chart that we're looking at right now, if we look down there, we can see the current point of control is $64.72. You guys may also have noticed that a portion of the volume profile itself is kind of highlighted in yellow. It's got a yellow background. That highlighted section is actually known as the value area and is the area where most of the volume has been traded over this period. Traditionally, it's going to be where 70% of the trading activity has taken place, but like I showed you in the previous screen, you guys can adjust that in the settings menu if you want to. So looking here in the shaded area, in the value area, looking here at the top bar to the bottom bar, we can see that 70% of the trading activity for ATVI has happened between 64.21 and 65.34. Now those horizontal bars themselves actually have names as well. So the top horizontal bar is called the value area high, whereas the bottom is called the value area low. So now that we actually have an idea of what it is that we're actually looking at with the volume profile, let's next go over how you would actually use this in a practical application. Starting with finding a very simple level of support and resistance, many traders will actually choose to use the value area high and low as those levels. So again, using Activision as the example in this case, looking here at the topmost line, the value area high, we might use that as our potential level of resistance. So looking there, we might draw our resistance level at $65.34. Whereas looking down towards the bottom of the value area, looking there at the value area low, we might draw our support level at $64.21. Now, the thought process behind this being that the point of control acts as a magnet, so that red horizontal bar where most of the trading activity has taken place will pull the stock price back to that point of control area. But again, this is a very simple example of a way that you guys could use this to find a level of support or resistance. Now, the other way to use this is actually finding patterns within the study, and the three that we're going to be discussing is going to be a symmetrical pattern, a P-type pattern, and a B-type pattern. Now, starting with the symmetrical pattern, this would be seen when there is a standard distribution of volume around the center point, around that point of control area. This would indicate that there is a balanced market, suggesting that the price will fluctuate around the point of control. So many traders may choose to sell in the upper range of the value area or buy towards the bottom range of the value area with the expectation of the stock returning to that point of control area. Now looking here at this Activision chart, I would actually consider this a symmetrical pattern. So looking here, I might consider buying some shares of Activision down here at the value area low. If I were to come up here towards the top, I might consider selling my Activision position or even buying a put option right here at the value area high at $65.34. Remember, the underlying premise being that it'll actually return back towards that point of control area because it acts as a magnet to the stock price. Now, the next pattern that we're going to be looking for is called a P-type pattern. The P-type pattern can be seen where the point of control and the value area are towards the top of the profile. This could actually indicate a bullish trend. If this were to happen, you may look at buying towards the bottom of the value area to take advantage of the potential bull trend. So let's go ahead and pull up a different stock ticker so we can use a good example here. Looking here at AbbVie, ABBV, you can see an example of a P-type pattern, and I think you see where the name comes from. It looks like the letter P. In this case, you can see that the volume profile, the value area and the point of control is towards the upper end range of the volume profile. So in this case, if the stock price were to push back towards the value area low here, I might look into getting into a long position on AbbVie, ABBV. Now moving on to the next pattern type, the B-type pattern. This on the other hand would display a skew towards the lower end range of the volume profile. This could then be interpreted as a bearish trend in the actual stock price. Should this occur, you guys might look at selling near the value area high and take advantage of that bear trend. So again, using a different example up here, let's go ahead and pull up a different stock. Looking down below on the right-hand side, we can see that B pattern in the BE chart right here. And again, it looks like the letter B. So we can see here that the value area and the point of control is toward the lower end range of that volume profile. So in this case, what we might be looking for is the stock price to push back up towards the value area high and then enter a short position or potentially buy some put options right here to take advantage of a bear trend. But I think that was a fairly comprehensive introduction to the volume profile and the different ways that you guys can use it in your trading. If you guys do have any additional questions for me or recommendations for other studies you guys would like me to discuss, please leave them down below. But that wraps up today's video on the volume profile. I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll catch you on the next one.